Welcome, everybody, back to Common Sense, the podcast. We've got an excellent show lined up for you guys here this week. And, you know, we're going to go through common sense, the common sense of the journey that people take as they go through whatever journey it is that they're going through in life. And we're going to talk about the good times, the bad times, and just kind of let that person tell their story and how common sense played a role in that. So this week we have a very special guest with us, my friend Baptiste Marchais. Marchais. I can never do that right. I did it right the first time, and then the second time I butchered it. Yeah. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you to inviting me.
Yeah. No, I mean, after watching you do the Cigar Talk live with the guys, I was like, I told Biz, I was like,
3 times.
Yeah, you've been on there a lot. You broke my record because at first I was the first one to be right back twice.
Yeah, so but I come from like more far away.
So you got the upper hand there.
Deserve it, yeah.
Yeah, he beat my record, so you can see he's very competitive, as you guys are gonna see in here. So tell us a little bit about what it is you do, because I don't think my audience knows what this French guy's doing in Texas right now.
Sure. Yeah. So now I'm living here. That's basically first thing I do is living here. But I moved to Texas some months ago, in November actually.
Yeah.
But I used to come every year since 5 years and staying like more long. So first time I just stayed 1 week, like exactly 6 days. And I came back, so it was years after, and staying 1 month and 2 and 3. And finally, I decided to move.
What was it that made you pick Texas of a place to come visit and eventually call home?
Okay, so the first time I didn't pick Texas, it just, I used to be a professional sportsman, and I came for a competition. So I traveled all around the world. I did bench press competition, and I was selected for a competition in Arlington, Texas. So my coach was a Texan guy. So he just put me on the list of the competitors for this competition, and I was selected. So I just came and show up for the competition. Like every place I did before, like I said, I traveled all around the world, in all Europe, Africa, everywhere. So that was just, for me, that was just another average place, like staying 5 days, doing the job, getting back home. But I fucking fell in love with Texas.
Yeah, what was it about Texas?
If I have to say one thing, because a lot of people ask me, why did I move to Texas? If I have to say one word, is freedom.
Yeah.
It is probably, the most, like the closest word I can use for describing it. Because, like I said a few times, I travel all around the world, and there is no place like Texas for freedom. This is a true land of freedom. That's what I think.
You can do pretty much anything, especially compared to a lot of other countries that are very restrictive.
Yeah.
Whether it's your hunting or fishing.
So you can do what you want, you can be what you want, and you can become what you expect. That's what you can, like you got the opportunity here to do what to potentialize yourself.
Yeah. So you have a company you found called Bench and Cigars. So let's tell everybody, and for those of you that don't know, this guy is like a YouTube rock star. I mean,
in France only.
Yeah, in France.
Only.
So we're probably going to get a lot of French viewers here, which is really awesome. I'm totally down with that. I think that's going to be a really cool aspect to add to this. So tell everybody a little bit about, let's start about, what did you start out doing in France? Like, where did your journey begin?
So my life journey?
Yeah, let's talk about, I think you started out as a bouncer. Correct. So when you got into the workforce.
Oh yeah. So like I said, I was a professional sportsman. I was a bench presser. But the thing is, bench press doesn't pay so much, especially when you're a rookie. So during years and years before becoming a champion, I have to work on the side of the sports, for living.
So champion bench pressing.
I used to be, yeah. I'm still the French record in the 220 category.
What? How much weight is that?
540 pounds.
540 pounds.
For the 220 category.
God. So I just got back into working out.
Okay.
Trying to lose weight.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Because when COVID happened, before COVID,
fucked everything up.
I was like 38. I had 40 was around the corner. So I hired a trainer and was like, I'm going to get back in really good shape, like back when I was playing sports.
Oh, you was like, you talking about your body weight?
Yeah.
You was, what?
No. I was 38.
Years old.
Years old.
Sorry. Okay, yeah, I got it.
So I was 38 years old, about to be 40. And I was like, I need to get in better shape.
Yeah.
And I hired a trainer.
Yeah,
I was doing
that.
really good. And then COVID happened.
Oh.
And then I stayed out of the gym for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I went from, when I went to the trainer, I was 215, which was the most I'd ever weighed. 215 pounds.
Yeah.
I got back down to 205, but I'd put on a lot of muscle. Mm-hmm. Well, then.
Yeah, so it's definitely a better shape.
Yeah, and COVID happened, and I was really trying to get down to like 185, 190. That's really good for me with my frame and my height. And I was not getting there, but then COVID happened, and 3.5 weeks ago, I was 236 pounds and super out of shape. So I've dropped 10 pounds. I'm down to 226 now. Lost about 2 inches off my waist, which I'm super happy with doing Alex's program. So, I started really working back towards that. But even when I was in my prime, I can't tell you how happy I was. My upper body has never been my strength. Mm-hmm. Arms and like shoulders, I can kill, but chest and benching, I have always sucked at that. Hearing
like
you
a lot of people
say 540 pounds, like that's just mind blowing to me. Like I was happy when I put 245s and a 35 on each side, and I was like, I'm getting it now.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not the same when you just work out, to be in shape, and when you dedicate all your life to lift the more in a specific move,
Yeah.
So, yeah, you cannot have any comparison.
Plus I have really long arms.
It's like saying, I run every Sunday during the morning, but Usain Bolt is faster than me. Yeah, it is. It's not the same thing,
Right.
But yeah, anyway, so I started to work because I just, finished the high school. I was 18 years old and I started to work. I was already like pretty big, I was like, I'm 5.6 or 0.7. I never know, like my height. I never know because I count in centimeters.
Right.
And not in feet. So I think it's
like 5'7".
5'7", I think. I 5'7", and I was like something like 210 pounds. So I was pretty big for an 18 years old guy. I was looking like older than I was. So I got a lot of friends who was bouncing in some club. I started doing the same. So that was a job who allowed me to work only the weekend, like Saturday night, Friday night, sometimes Sunday night.
Yeah.
And I have all the week for working at. Because at a high level, I was already a European champion when I was 18 years old. I was benching 400 pounds. I was a European champion, so I already compete at a high level.
Yeah.
And you can't have a work like whole day working, then go to the training and being competitive against guy who's like professional, like Ukraine guy, Russian guy. Like, this kind of, or American guy who's paid for doing that. You can be competitive. So working having my job the weekend and the week to train, that was cool for me. So I did that during years. Then I become better and better in my sports. I start to win some more title and set some records. So finally I can stop bouncing and live, off my sports.
Yeah.
And I open my coaching company and start to prepare other athletes, just doing programming, like personal training, seminar about bench press. I still doing it. And so I was doing the advertising on my Instagram. I used to get 4,000 subscribers because I was famous only in the little world of powerlifting.
Yeah.
Then I decided, and I see that people loves what I did on Instagram. That was like, I didn't just put sports thing, but I put like everything, like country lifestyle. So it's cigars, but like hunting, gastronomy, fishing, everything. I don't know, even religion, everything like that. And I saw that people enjoy that. So I say, okay, let's open a YouTube channel and doing the same things that I did on Instagram, but more in a professional way, and see if I can get more customers for my coaching company. So the first thing was that was the only goal. Me and the guy I'm working with, we was expecting maybe like at most 10,000 subscribers, something like that.
Okay.
And finally, in fucking 4 months, we was 50,000. In 1 year, 100,000. 1 year and a half, 200,000. Everything is scaled out quickly. And so finally, YouTube becomes a main thing. Like I opened a second company, like a video production company.
Yeah.
Then I opened a third company for clothing branding and everything. And so finally, all my business are turning around. The YouTube channel was today my main business.
That's amazing, because YouTube's been my biggest struggle.
Well,
And,
not anymore.
Not anymore. I mean,
France is in the building.
Yeah,
France
I'm sure
is
they are.
watching right now.
That's awesome.
Il y a des Français ici qui ont vu la story. Merci les gars.
Yeah, we appreciate you greatly, because YouTube was so prohibitive when I came into the scene. 'Cause, I just started doing the podcast last September, and it was just from my passion of wanting to sit down with people, share a cigar, and talk about their story and their journey, so that others could learn from that and hear about their failures, their successes, and go down that rabbit hole with people, because that's the kind of conversations we were having here at ICC. And I wanted to expose other people to that and teach them, and let them see that. So YouTube actually was the hardest, because like until you get 100 subscribers, they won't even let you use the name of your show. It's like this, like it looks like hieroglyphics, like it's this big long code. So they've changed a lot of that, but I mean, it sounds like with you having that following from Instagram, that was an easier transition for doing that.
Maybe, but yeah. I didn't start from the bottom, because I remember my first video do like maybe something like 1,000 views. So for me, it's nothing today, but I can understand easily that for a beginner, it could be a good base, like 1,000 views.
Yeah.
And I go quickly to maybe 3,000 subscribers, something like that. But after that, I remember like I was putting a weekly video. And I remember the first video goes up was a video about bench press, just a bench press seminar. And I remember my editors calling me and say, "Oh, you should check the views." And I checked, and that was 40,000 views. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, what just happened?
Yeah, what happened? And after that, everything is bigger and bigger, and that was crazy. And man, finally, I started to become famous. I started to become, cause, like I say, I never did politics on my channel.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of like a way of life. Everything is way of life on my channel. So finally, I become like kind of like a representative of a part of the French people.
Yeah.
The one who never talk, the country people. So TV shows started calling me to invite me and talk for, like for country people. Other YouTube channel journalists start to write for me everything. Cause here you really have country culture in media and everything, but not in France. Like in France, the country population represents a majority of France, but they never talk in the TVs, and never have any YouTube show, never have anything. They don't have their own music, their own, like here, So being one of the first, make me become more famous than I was expected.
Okay, so you just how did you start off in the bench pressing? Like, what drew you to that? Like, where did that passion develop for you? Were you always a gym rat as a kid, or
not at all? But the thing is, probably part of education. I'm in a military family, and I think my mother always teach me to be like mainly, you know. She expect me to be mainly. She got a daughter, my sister, and she expect her to be like I don't know, you say like girly? No.
Yeah.
Maybe
But a woman.
You see, yeah, like a real woman. And so she expect me to be a real man. So I grow in this culture of strong men, you know, like how you say rural people and everything.
We call it country strong here.
Yeah, country strong, like tough guy.
Yeah.
And I get some example at home, like my grandfather was very, very tough. So finally I did boxing. I started to do a little bit of boxing and things like that. And my therapist, like the guy who work on your muscle and everything, like you see, body therapist. No, I don't know what you say. Massage
therapist.
Yeah.
Just a different type of therapist.
Yeah, he say, oh man, you should go to the gym a little bit. It could help you for boxing. But I was 14 years old, so I said, okay, let's try. So I start to go to the gym in my city, and I see some bodybuilder, so people very big and everything that impressed me. So I start to interest a little bit about what we can do in a gym, weightlifting and everything. And I just discover powerlifting. And that was like a fucking revelation. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's exactly what I want. I want to be stronger. I want that. And what I directly like in this sport, it's because it's tough, rugged, and everything, but it's very, very technical. It's something. It's right between science, you know, and brute force.
Yeah.
So I started to interest myself about that, but at this time, I'm not very old. I'm only 29, but still, I was still interesting about this sports before all the social media and everything.
Yeah.
You can't talk with big athletes or everything. No, I got hundreds of teenagers asking me about powerlifting and everything. But when I become you by yourself, so I was like checking magazine, you know, like internet website, something. And I trained alone during 2 years. And finally, a guy I know, he told me, man, I train in a gym where there is a bench press champion. His name is Didier Michelon. And I knew this guy because he was a legend in France. That was like the biggest bench presser all time in France.
Yeah.
And he said, I told him about you and he's okay to talk with you and show you some tricks. I was like, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
So I show up to his gym. And this guy talked with me, I don't know, maybe during 1 hour and a half. And at the end of the conversation, I was a young kid. I was 17 years old. And at the end of the conversation, he say, oh, I was 16 years old, something like that. He say, man, I see that you're like, you're passionate. You say that? Yeah, passionate. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to train you. And I say, yeah, sir, I got no money. He said, I'm going to train you for free. And in 1 year, I'm going to bring you in a championship, in the French championship. So he starts training me and my life changed finally. So because I started to go like little step by little step, I started to professionalize the way I train. And finally in 2016, I broke the French record and it told me, I didn't have anything to teach you anymore. You're too high for me now. You have to go to the level up. And so he told me about this coach. His name is Josh Bryan, who was living in Texas. So I called this coach. I showed my records, everything, and he accepted to took me. And he bring me to Texas, and my life changed a second time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so finally, I quit powerlifting 2 years ago, when the channel starts to become very, very big, because that was not compatible with a high-level sports way of life. You can't, when you do that sport at that level, all your life has to turn around that. I was eating, training, sleeping, doing massage therapists and stretching, and that's it. And you didn't do anything else, because every calorie you have to, keep it for the gym. So when the channel starts to become very, very big, it asked me too much time, and so I still training to be in shape, but it's impossible.
Not for the same thing.
No, but it's for the better.
Okay. So how did you start incorporating your other passions? Because we kind of joke around here like you're like the French New Texas redneck. I mean, like you are like adapting to the Texas lifestyle like nothing I've
He
ever.
went hard in the paint. Got a ranch, got a big old truck, got some boots. I'm like, I
know.
got to his house and was like, damn, man, you more Texas than Texas.
The first time he came in here, he was dressed a little more French to me.
Not no more.
And then the second time I saw him, it was like, man, this guy looks like he fell off one of my partner's, trucks out at the ranch. He's got camo on. He's got his ball cap on. He's got jeans. He's got cowboy boots. And he's pulling up this big F1, F250, F350.
F250.
And he pulls out this big truck and everything else I'm seeing now he's hanging out with Adrian. He's shooting guns everywhere and stuff. I'm like, man, what is this dude doing? Like,
He's going to have a Texas twang with a French accent in about 3 more months.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to say, bonjour, y'all. Just watch.
Yeah.
But kind of like a mix.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The thing is, I know it could be a surprise for a lot of people here, but I can tell you, guy, rural people all around the Western world, we are the same.
Yeah.
Like, I traveled for hunting too. The two reason I traveled so much was for competition or for hunting. I hunt in Russia, I hunt everywhere in the world. And I can tell you, you're probably, guy from the country, your country people, yeah, are probably closer to the Russian trapper I'm hunting with. That's a guy from Brooklyn. You know, in the culture, in the way we live, even if we don't speak the same language or everything, but man, we're the same. Like really, man, the Western world, the Western country world, we're the same everywhere in the world. Yeah, we got some different drink, but we're drinking the same way with the same passion, the same thing for track hunting, everything. I can tell you, guy, that's when I'm home, and my wife is from the country too, from the South France. I'm from North France. She is very comfortable here. Nothing look like very strange for us. The way people live. I'm living in the country here in a small village by Weatherford, and everywhere around the house it's ranch, farmer, everything, and it look like home. Like the vegetation and everything is pretty much different. Yeah, but the way people live, it's like home. I can tell you.
It's so country. I was at his house one day, and we're walking. He has his own pond in his backyard. And we're walking. He says, busy. I said, what's up? Watch out for the rattlesnakes. I was like, what the fuck? He's pay attention.
He was like with Jordans or something, but in high grass. And he was like, I don't know, maybe 80 degrees outside. But
I'm just walking. I didn't know
out
he
the
said
city.
So
you had to teach him that country life to do this.
He gave me the whole lesson. So now when I'm at his house, I'm wearing like hiking boots and armor-plated jeans, and I never look up. I'm looking at the ground in front of me the whole time.
One of my friends was staying at my house during this week. Yeah, a French friend, he just found a scorpion in his shoes. So, and I told him, man, that's why when you camp, I say you check all your shoes before before wearing that. You see, that's why it's not bullshit.
For sure. So what started your passion on the hunting? Was that something that your family always did? Or?
No, not really. So I grew up in the country, but the thing is, there is like, when I moved to my parents' home, I just get a little apartment in a small village, 600 people. And the only like store on it is a bar, and it's called the Hunter's Rendezvous. You see, but it's like it's right in France. So in French it's say Le Rendezvous des Chasseurs. And so it's a really tiny little bar for hunters. And so I start just hanging out on this bar, drinking some French alcohol and talking with the whole guy here. and they start to say, Baptiste, you're really interested about food, like meat and everything, because I am. You know what, you cook everything. You should try hunting. You're a outdoor guy. You should like it. And I was, okay, I didn't know that. So let's try. So I was not so young, something like 19 years old.
Yeah.
And yeah, I discovered a new passion, finally.
What is it that you really like to hunt?
So what animals? Or
Yeah,
what?
like, like here, like I really like bird hunting because it's action. It's very fast paced.
Yeah, duck hunting. I love duck hunting.
Duck hunting is a lot of fun. I like big game hunting. Like I've shot black bucks and fallows and
cool.
whitetail.
Yeah, very
so
cool.
that I want to learn archery. I haven't done that yet. That's something I want to get into is the bow hunting.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
So that's something I'm interested in learning. But, I'm in the construction business, so a lot of my clients and stuff really like to hunt. So I've gotten into that more. When my boss, my dad had a heart attack when I was really young, and he was a big bird hunter. But he had his heart attack when I was young enough that, like, I didn't get to learn that from him. So really, my boss and longtime friend is the one who got me into hunting and taught me how to hunt. So, at first I didn't really like deer hunting because it was just like sitting in a blind, waiting for the feeder to go off, waiting for the deer to come. And I'm like, all right, this is boring. But then when I missed that first really big buck, then I got the itch. It was like, okay, now I got to get
But the
one.
thing is, hunting around the feeder is something I only see in Texas.
Yeah, it's
We
different.
don't do
from
that
what's
in Europe.
Yeah.
We're just trekking it.
Yeah.
So, like, you're alone or with a guy and you just walk hours and hours, seeing track on the field, shit, everything, and you try to find the deer.
Yeah.
Then you shoot it. So it's more interesting.
More sport.
I didn't do any posting hunt
Yeah.
because, like you say, it's boring for me. So every hunt I do is a walking hunt or track or something, but never stay in my position. So let's say I love every hunting because everything is different, and I love learning new way to hunt, like traditional hunt from this part of the world, this part of this region. Because in France, every region got a pretty different culture about outdoor life, hunting, and everything. So I did a lot of duck hunting in the swamp. So with the weathers, and you just walk on the swamp, and you do it in the morning or the late evening when the duck go down or go up. So that's very interesting. And I love different. Here in Texas, every week I go for thermal hunting for the hogs. So it's something you can't do in France because it's illegal. So I do that with some buddies here, and
So
it's
hogs
interesting
haven't taken over like they have here in the U.S.
So no, we got the same problem.
Okay.
That's exactly the same problem. It's a pest, but the government is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So they made it illegal, and after that they complain about the hogs' damage.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the hunting laws in France because everything is just fucking stupid, and it's like, France today is probably the most socialist country in the world. And
Really?
It is more than China.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I already say it's busy, but my company's tax is 75%.
Blew my brains out.
Wow.
I had to sit down when he said that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's mind blowing.
No, that's fucking ridiculous.
I see why you wanted to come to Texas.
Yeah, that's a part of the reason. But the saying is, that's what socialism do. They're, regulated everything. There is a law for everything. They teach you how to live. Like, basically, you have to eat this way, you have to consume this way, drive this way, everything. And even for the hunt. So all the laws are fucking ridiculous. Like, there is like a bunch of stupid laws, like bow hunting is legal, crossbow hunting is illegal. Fucking why?
Yeah.
there is absolutely no reason. That's just, they say it and that's it.
Yeah.
So there is no democracy anymore in France. So here in Texas, I do thermal hunting, and that's Very cool.
Is that your favorite now?
It's not my favorite, but I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm still like I'm still a fan of long distance shoot when I do like, mountain hunting or something. And then I do a lot of bass fishing here too, because
Yeah.
I get a little lake on my property, like a tank. So almost every day when it's not raining, I take my rod and go fish some bass. That's cool, that's enough for me. I do some bow and crossbow hunting, and I like doing that. So in France, I like doing that for what the name in English? Like nutria rats. Nutria rats. It's like a beaver, but with a normal tail.
Okay.
So it's like a big rat, brown rats.
Like a
that.
swamp rat.
Yeah, it's
probably.
It's the swamp rats. Yeah.
Okay.
So I like to do crossbow hunting for the swamp rats because you have to just walk around the little river and being very, very quiet. Walking and see the rats because these animals they hear everything, they smell everything.
Yeah.
So you have to be the quietest possible. Then it's hard to shoot them with crossbow. So I like to do that. And after with that in France, we can cook it. We do something we call pâté. It's like a meat spread you can put on bread. It's very good. So even this little hunt like that, I enjoy it. It's cool for me.
What's the longest shot you've taken on a hunt so far?
The longest shot?
Yeah.
So it's in meters. So I don't know in yards, but it's 700 meters. So it's probably 550 yards, something like that. I think it is. Or it's in the I think 1 meter is 1 yard 20. No, I don't know. Let me check.
I'll butcher that.
I can check quickly on my converter because I have to convert everything here. So let's do yard in meter. It's gonna be quick. Yeah, so 700. It's 765 yards.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was on.
So they're called nutria.
It's a nutria.
Yeah, because my buddy Chase, he's from Louisiana. He's one of them crazy Cajuns.
Yeah.
So Chase knows
probably,
that swamp talk.
He's
over
probably
there.
a part French.
Yeah.
If he's a truly Cajun, he's probably French descendant.
I mean, he might be. I don't know that for sure, but I would imagine so. But yeah.
Yeah, so
Chase is a big hunter too.
So I shot one of them from 765 yards, but that was a lucky shot because at this distance, that's crazy. So he was between the hills, and I just saw like a black stuff between the hills, and I trusted that was a hogs, but half hide by the hills, like the top of the hogs. But in reality, that was a nutria. Yeah. And I shot it, and I get it, and I was with a 300 Winchester Magnum, and I was like, "Yeah, I got this one." I walk all the way up, and I see this fucking rat who was blow up because it's
too big a round.
It's a too big caliber for that. I was like, "Shit!" That's probably my best shot ever.
So, what's the most challenging hunt? I know what this is, but what's the most challenging hunt that you've ever gone on?
Moose hunting in North Russia.
Russia.
Nice.
4 degrees Fahrenheit outside during 5 days, walking like 10 or 15 miles by day. But the thing is, just walking 1 mile takes you hours because there is 1 yard of snow on the floor. And the thing is, you're in the taiga, so it's a forest, very, very dense. There is a tree everywhere. So you can't hunt long range or mid range. You have to shot short range because the biggest shot you can do it's like 20 yards because there is tree everywhere.
Yeah.
So you hunt it with a 12 caliber for moose with a giant staff.
Yeah.
So you got your 12 calibers and you walk on the snow during days and days, seeing, track everything. That I did that with a trapper who was living in the wood in a cabin all his life. And I made a video about that. People can check on my channel. Even if they don't speak French, they're going to understand because the pictures spoke by themselves.
Plus, you can hit the translate button, and it does a pretty good job. I
Yeah,
had to
maybe.
do that
So
on
now
several.
on my channel, every new video since I'm in Texas, I got English subtitle.
Yeah.
But my oldest video don't have it.
Yeah.
And it was a crazy hunt. Very crazy. And at the end, I didn't shoot anything. But I still enjoy it. That's part of the hunt. That's why I'm really love hunting. As soon as I see something, even if I miss it, that's enough for me to take pleasure.
Yeah.
And that was really like being in the middle of this gigantic forest, because it's hundreds of miles forest with no leaves, with no human everywhere.
Yeah.
In this amount of snow, you know, with this guy who's like a creator of this forest. This guy he's born here, raised here. You know, he's fishing on the ice. He's hunting on the snow. This guy was, you know, like
He was legit.
He's probably one of the biggest predators of this forest. Being with him, that was crazy for me. I never forget that.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's when you get to do something like that and track something. That's an amazing experience. I really want to do a hunt like that. Like I think that would be super interesting. I mean, I already got to give it to you. You just the other day got to do something I've been trying to do for a while.
Oh yeah.
And I had to laugh my ass off because the whole time Biz is telling me how bad he's freezing his ass off. And I know it. I'm just dying laughing, picturing Biz trying to get the video footage of you shooting hogs out of a helicopter.
That's crazy.
How was that experience? Because that's something I've wanted to do for a while.
So if you want to do that, I got a good contact for you.
I heard.
I did that with a company of friends, some friends' company.
Yeah.
They're in Albany, Texas.
Okay.
So it's in West Texas. It's like busy. It's like 3 hours from here.
It was 3 hours exactly.
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
hours
3
from
hours
here.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
that's okay for this experience.
Yeah, for the experience.
I can tell you. And so these guys are very cool. They got a copter with a military pilot, like a veteran military.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
pilot. This guy, he knows his shit. I can tell you. Man, it's crazy. And yeah, that was a great experience. And I was not like, in reality, I was not expecting that was so cool. You know, that, man, just flying close to the ground with all, like, its country doing miles and miles, and seeing like the big group of deers crossing, you know, just running between like inside the helicopters, the turkey flying, Iran, hogs, everything, just the nature, and seeing the nature from the, you know, the sky like that, like you just feel like you're a goddamn raptor, you know? So no, that was crazy. And after that, so we fly during maybe 30 minutes. I was like enjoying very
Just
much.
flying.
And just flying. I was like, yeah, I'm already good. And this guy just say, oh, hogs. And everything become fucking Call of Duty. Because you're like, that's hogs running everywhere. This guy chasing it with the copters, doing like upside down everything. You have to shut it. That's crazy. And in reality, it's you do more damage with so I use a 5.56 caliber. That was a Daniel Defense. And when you shot it from the ground, you have to put, like, sometimes you have to put a lot of bullets on it because they just go through the belly or something.
Yeah.
But from the sky, you shot the spine or the head very easily. So sometimes just one shot and you see the hog, boom, just falling on the ground. And yeah, they're fucked. And you're like, cool. Like a one-shot kill, that's not something you do a lot with this kind of weapons. So, man, if you can do it, do it.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like, you can come on my name, just say you heard about this company. It's called, if people want to see their Instagram, it's Hunt Bird Dog. So just Hunt Bird Dog in one word. And yeah, that's a great experience.
Awesome, man. I'm definitely going to have to check that one out. I know there's a lot of guys on my channel that are big hunters that'll want to look into that as well. We do a lot, like I said, for my business with entertaining clients and stuff. We take them on a lot of guided hunts and, you know, go out to the ranch. I have a friend that owns a very awesome ranch out in Lampasas that we've hunted out on a lot of. That's where I've gotten my fallow and my black buck, and he's got all kinds of stuff from exotics to, you know, you name it, he's probably had it out there. I mean, he had wildebeest at one time, and I was just like, man, that would be. But I mean, I was like, God, I'd had to buy 2 freezers just to put all that meat in, because I mean, that's like shooting a whole cow, like times 2. Yeah, it's insane. But I'll have to get you out on a hunt or something. We'll have to go. We do a goose and crane hunt every year in the winter. that's out in Lubbock. I'll have to get you out on that. I think that's something you'd really enjoy.
man, I will. I will be more than happy.
Drinking the moonshine, sitting down in the halls, and
I love moonshine.
Flying over, man. It's awesome.
So the next hunt I'm gonna do with these guys from this company, it's in September. They're gonna bring me in Louisiana for gator hunting.
Yeah.
So something I never did, but I came in Texas this year when I just, cause I have to find new team for my videos. And I was like, I want to do a gator hunting. I want to do that, and especially in Louisiana. I don't want to go in Florida. I want to go in Louisiana because, there is a part of French culture in Louisiana and part of French history. So I was like, yeah, I want to do that. So I was looking for that, and I found these guys, and they say, yeah, the season starts in September. You're more than welcome. There we go. I can't wait.
That'll be cool. Going up there. Have you been on a swamp boat yet?
No,
the big airboats. That's fun.
I already tried it in France.
Yeah,
but in Louisiana, it's gonna be a totally different.
It'll be different
experience.
I'm sure with the swamps, they're set up probably. I'm sure a lot different.
So something the guys from here could do in France and could enjoy. And I did a lot. It's in the swamp too, or in the river. In France, we got a giant catfish breed. Like when I say giant, it's really giant compared to the catfish you got here.
Okay.
It's like between 8 and 10 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah. It's all the biggest I do was.
So you're not noodling those ones.
You
You're
can't.
not sticking
You
your
can't.
arm
It's
in
200 pounds.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's just like a fucking shark.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got some pictures people can see on my Instagram with that. The biggest I do was 2 meters 48. So it's something around 9 foot long.
Wow.
9 feet long. So yeah, it's big. Just the head is wide like that. That's do like like
so
that.
have you done the noodling yet?
No, I never tried the noodling. But for this one, you use like you fish them with living fish. You put living fish.
Yeah.
But you put fish like that size.
Yeah.
Because you're looking for the big, and when you got it on the road, man, that's sports. That's fucking weightlifting. Because this guy, it's only muscular. He can drag you both all across the river. So sometimes you're like doing 20 minutes, go, and I know like people from here, if they come in France and they want to do something like harder stuff, cool, they can only do in Europe. They can go for the giant catfish. They could enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so you
cool.
got really some monster.
Have you tried any of the deep sea fishing yet down around here? You've gone down to the coast and done any of that yet?
I never. So I only fish one. I didn't grow around the coast in France. I'm in the part of the region of France I come from is swamp and forest.
Okay.
But my wife grew up on the beach. So I used to fish a little bit with his brother, so my brother-in-law. And he do sea fishing, but from the beach, like surf casting. So that's the only kind of fishing I did in the sea.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna have to go down to Gauss and we go down there and we do blasting casts where you go and catch the redfish in the afternoon, but in the morning you're out duck hunting. That's a lot of fun too. That's something you'd probably.
Yeah, I got a
really
friend
like.
who go often in Corpus Christi.
Yeah,
and he rent a boat and go fishing all day. So he's gonna bring me probably, and I'm gonna bring some. Probably bring BZ too for doing a video of that.
Yeah,
you're gonna be happy to get somewhere it's hot with the sun and everything.
I just want some gator skin Jordans.
You're gonna
be
here for the gators too.
Oh, bruh, whatever fishing, I'm down to go.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, like the biggest fish I ever caught I caught about 115-pound sailfish in Costa Rica. And that took me 45 minutes to reel that bad boy in. I mean, that was a battle.
I went deep sea fishing for the first time 2 years ago, and the fish I caught after about 4 hours was no bigger than my iPhone. I was so proud of that moment. And the effed up thing is a freaking seagull came down and snatched him and took off with it. I was like, oh man, I hope a shark
You're gonna have to hook
eats
him
you.
up. You're gonna have to get a big one on there and just here, Biz, reel it in.
Let me get my manhood back. Yeah, it was pretty sad.
Well, see, that trip I was talking about with the sailfish, the picture I had to take with the fish was actually my client's fish, because they had a little Costa Rican native guy there that, like, this guy maybe weighed 100 pounds soaking wet. I spent 45 minutes, got him in. He's hooking him. He's trying to measure him and everything is on back. That fish flipped, put him in the water, and that fish was gone.
45 minutes.
I'm like,
gone.
seriously?
Did you have any pictures?
Oh,
or
I've got
nothing?
the video of
Okay.
me like reeling him in. We got him jumping, everything else.
That's
I
enough.
got the pictures, but
That's enough.
Yeah.
Because you know that if it's not on pictures,
Yeah.
it's not existing.
It don't count.
it didn't happen.
Oh,
It didn't
I got the picture of my little ass fish right here. After the podcast, I'll show it to you.
Yeah, we might have to post that on the page. Business,
I'm proud.
biggest
I don't
big
care.
catch.
I'm proud.
Hey, you can be.
So, what made you think about doing the whole thing you do with your lifestyle and grabbing a camera guy to start documenting what you do? How did the YouTube thing come into play?
Like I said, I was already doing that on Instagram, just with the story and everything.
Yeah.
And I saw that people enjoyed that. So I was like, if they already enjoy the Instagram content, why not doing that more, like a lot more beautiful, like with the better pictures and everything. So I knew this guy. No, it's my editor. So busy knowing him.
Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro. And so I know this guy. It was like a friend's friend.
Yeah.
And I asked him, okay, man, I got a project. If you want to be part of that, I need a good camera guy and good editors. He was like, yeah, okay. And we start that, but we didn't know where we was going. That was like, let's try. So I just go to the bank, take a credit. Because I didn't have any money for paying it. It's expensive, like doing video in a professional way. So but it's expensive. It's already expensive when you do that here. So can you imagine when you have to bring
travel,
bring materials everywhere, and doing big editing? Because that kind of stuff, it's easy to edit.
Yeah, well, you got hours of footage too.
When you got hours, different camera, different angle, it takes weeks, sometimes months to edit the thing. So yeah, I just take a credit to the bank. I was like, we'll see. And magic happened.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. YouTube star.
God, I think I'm truly a Catholic, and I can tell you, sometimes God have a plan for you. You didn't even expect, you didn't even know. You just go, and if you let God decide, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
If you just let the thing happen, you just go, yeah, okay, I want to do that. I got a good feeling. Let's do that. Sometimes God does the job, and you finally that's better for you.
So if you think about it, you never would think you were a bouncer. You ended up where you are sitting right now. The journey between then and now, this probably wasn't even on your radar. No, nothing, but everything. And as we say, using your common sense in some of your decisions as you navigated to get here. So do you ever get anybody from home or other people asking you for mentorship? Like they want to do what you do, and that's from benching, pressing, working out, hunting, being on YouTube. Do a lot of people come to you for advice on either how to live your lifestyle or how to show the world their lifestyle based on the way that you do it?
So it's hard to say in English. Let me just choose my words correctly. I'll always be passionate. My first passion was bench press, and I did 100%. I put myself 100% on it. Everybody around me, everybody except my mother, but everybody, your friends, parents, people on the gyms, the teachers, everybody told me, don't do that. Keep bench press as a hobby. Don't try to be a professional.
Yeah.
You have to look for a real job. You have to look like, what they call real job is, or real life, it's just random nobody's life. They want you to be a nobody like they are. Because they never do, the people who told you that. And then maybe I will not look humble when I say that, but the people who told you that never do a fucking thing in their entire life.
Yeah.
They just,
They just
get
go
from
through the process.
They got from the coach, sofa,
yeah.
coach, to the work, to the working place, to the bed, to the supermarket, and do that again, fucking every day on the life, and that's it. And when you want to put yourself on something will, keep you alive and something will make sense for you, they're like, oh, no, don't do that. It's not sure. Not. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to be 100% sure of what you do, grow carrots or tomatoes, okay?
Yeah.
You're going to have tomatoes. It's just put a grain on the floor, put water, the sun will shine, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do bench press competition. Sure. But the thing is, when you it's okay to get your tomatoes and eat it. It's an accomplishment. But when you go, I remember my first international competition. That was in Portugal, close to Spain.
Uh-huh.
I won the teenager European Championship. I go on the first step of the
Podium.
Okay, it's the same word.
Yep.
I go to the first step on the podium, and they put the French national anthem, and I was like, okay, everything makes sense.
Yeah.
You see, all of what I did now, all this, sweat
Work.
and bleed and tears on the gym, everything, like when I had no money for putting food off the fridge, or can't hang out with the buddies because I have to sleep for the train, everything, all of that makes sense. No, because we're in a room with like 100 athletes, with 2,000 spectators, and in the fucking Portugal, and everybody heard now the French national anthem. That's
Reward
something.
for all your hard work.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because you put the blind faith in doing something you were passionate about, and then you got to see the reward.
Yeah. So I keep that mind for everything in my life after that. And YouTube was the same thing. I put myself on YouTube the same way I put myself on benchpress competition. And it's work. And yeah, as you say, bro, when I was a bouncer in this nightclub in Paris, Paris is the most dangerous capital in Europe. So as a bouncer in a free gun zone, it's fucking terrible. You can see the worst. And I saw the worst. I get attacked by a machete. I get stabbed 2 times. I get shot 1 time. It didn't be shot really, but my waiter takes a bullet on the feet. So I come from the worst, no money, worst job, everything. That's finally it's better because now I'm here and I can really enjoy what I got. When I'm on my deck, and I say that 100 times to my wife. Sometimes we're seated on the fishing deck with the sun, with a big property, and I say, do you remember? Just that, do you remember where we was?
Yeah.
And so I think, people who didn't live this life before, who didn't make the long travel to get it, that didn't maybe enjoy as much as I do now. Like, I take everything like a luck, like a chance, God, like a gift.
Yes.
God made me.
Yes.
Yeah, because you had to go through all that. And if you didn't have that, you probably wouldn't appreciate this as much either.
Not as much, no.
Because you've had to go through all those struggles and having that vision with no payoff, no reward in sight, but then achieving that and being able to take that further than you even imagined.
All my life, I remember I was only sure of one thing. When I was bouncing, when I do all this shitty job, I was always sure of one thing. I was saying, I will not do that all my life. I was sure of that. I saw people doing the same job all their life, didn't enjoy everything and dying. I was like, no, that's not going to happen for me. I was sure of that. So bench press was the way. When I was training, I was like, one day I'm going to be a bench press champion and everything's going to change. I was sure of that because that was not possible for me. Like, no, I will not live in this fucking 50 square feet apartment with getting paid $1,500 by months. No. Yeah, it's okay. It's a beginning. Yeah, I accept it. But it's not gonna be my whole life. I was sure of that.
Yeah, that's the first chapter. That's not going to be the last chapter.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people don't understand the amount of work it takes to get to a goal, or the amount of work you have to do. Like you said, a lot of people think that even we experience that here.
Yeah.
We have a YouTube channel, but that this is the most traffic we have seen ever. But we've been doing this almost going into our second year. It takes time, and you have to be very focused on a path. And I think, unfortunately, today people think that if you build it, they will come, and that's not true.
No,
you have to stick to it. Even with me working with you now, I had a certain way of shooting because of what I've done, and talking to you and Pedro, of learning how you shoot and different things. But the challenges I love, and people don't understand. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm still got things left to learn, how to get it, where to go. But if you was to say or give advice, I think you're saying is that you have to be passionate and you have to stick to it.
It's right. And you know, it's always when you're on the top. I don't say I'm on the top, but you know, when you're in a comfortable position, that people tell you that, oh, it's easy for you, you know, you get a lot of money, you get an easy life, everything. Man, you was not here before.
Here when all that happened.
How many times did you get stabbed? How many times in your fucking life someone shoot you with a fucking gun? Tell me.
Almost starving, no food in the refrigerator.
Don't tell me it's an easy life for me, because I get my struggle before. You know, I did all this shit before. I was eating frozen food, you know, cheap frozen food every fucking day. Yeah, no, I got a big Wagyu tomahawk on my barbecue, but I pay for this fucking barbecue. I pay for this fucking tomahawk with the money I did during fucking years and years. And I mean, let's not be humble, but I fucking deserve it. I truly trust it. I truly trust it. I deserve it.
Yeah, you put in the work. And, you know, it's easy for people. People want to judge, you know, Instagram and Facebook and this. It shows the good stuff. It shows that snapshot. It doesn't show everything that you did to get there.
Yeah.
And everybody sees that, and then they don't go back and see all the stuff you didn't post or all the stuff you did to get there or what it took to get that one thing. And, you know, it's real easy to judge or have an opinion when you haven't seen that or done the work. And most people think there's some quick success. I mean, I'm sure you see that with your bench coaching. You get these guys in here like, okay, well, I want to lift 540 pounds. Well, put in the work. You can barely do 100 pounds right now. Like, it's going to be a process. Like, I can't make you lift 540 pounds overnight.
Yeah, you sure.
You know, like, it's going to be a process, but you can do it if you commit and you want to follow the process. And there's lots of mentors and coaches that can help you along the way, but you're going to have to commit and go through the process.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's exactly the same. People are like, yeah, just take steroids or something.
Yeah.
Live. Now, man, I fucking live like a goddamn monk during years, just sleeping, eating, lifting, and that's it. My life was totally flat, except when I was on the training, you know, and I was pushing myself very hard on training with blood on my face, taste of blood on my mouth, almost, you know, passing off. So during years, it's not like, well, I'm going to do that during weeks or months. I'm talking about fucking years for doing that. And there is bigger, like stronger powerlifter would do that 20 years and become like a world record or something. When I see any world record, I'm like, in any sports, you know, I'm like, fuck, this guy deserves it. It's couldn't be another way. He forcefully deserved it because it's too hard to get this high.
So you've reached this level here. Do you now, when you get to this certain level, how do you raise the bar? How do you raise the standards? How do you decide what's next? Do you have something that's next? So
it's easy because YouTube and, you know, like the social media give you statistic every day. You know, throwing statistic on your face. You get that views, you have this subscribers, your watch time is that, you get this money. So it's easy to put the level, like, because you know what level you are. You're like, okay, I do, like, let's say my average views is like 250,000. I want to go 400,000. I want to go 500. It's easy to push that. And so I'm like, I always do my channel like, okay, more people seeing they serve a better quality, you know?
Yeah.
So more people I get, more fame I got on the channel, more I say, let's do something more crazy, more intense, and more quality. You know, we're pushing the bar, and we do fucking. I started doing duck hunting in the swamp, and we just did fucking helicopter. And
let's go hang your cameraman out of a helicopter.
Yeah. And in September we're gonna catch getters in the hand or something. I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna push the limit. I'm sure. Busy know that. So that's
how. Are you
how
doing
I
that
put
with
the
your
bar.
coaching as well? How are you doing that? Or are you transitioning from coaching's second now, and all this is number one?
Yeah, the channel is main, so I just have less number of students. You see, I take like 60 people on coaching. That's it. And now I only do online programming with weekly feedback. Weekly feedback. You know, they give me one feedback by week, and I just see the feedback and send the next week. I can't do more than that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just keep the quality, but I just
are you planning
put down
to
the
do,
numbers.
Are you planning to do more of that coaching here locally?
I can't.
No?
Yeah, probably bench press seminar, bench press lesson, private lessons. Yeah, I'm going to do that because I that's the only thing I get time for. Because the thing is time.
Yeah.
Time, it's hard to get because people see the video. Okay, you got one video every 2 weeks because I used to do one video by week, but now we got one video every 2 weeks. But they don't see the fucking schedule we got was busy. It was crazy because we have to find days.
He knows.
Was matching,
Yeah, no, I know.
It's matching between me and him and the fucking guys who come for the video.
Guides,
like a copter's pilots. You can just, it's not a Uber. You cannot call it like, oh, I need a helicopter.
Like we've tried to do the helicopter twice, but the wind, the weather, and all that. And then here's the crazy thing about the helicopter thing. We're flying back. So Baptiste has shot 4, 5, 6 hogs, and we're flying back. And he says, hey, do you want to see the video when we crashed? And I'm like, huh? He's like,
no, he don't say that. He say, actually, we say, did you ever do YouTube video? And he said, yes, it was one of me. Just write hunting helicopter crash on YouTube.
And I thought he was joking.
I told the same. I was like, you're jogging. He said, no. And he got an iPad.
iPad's on the front of the helicopter.
On the video. And we see the same copter we was actually
crashing. And he's just flying, la 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 la. I'm like, so we're watching the same helicopter we're in right now crashing, and we're doing like 150 miles an hour over these fields. And he thought it was cool. So we have on headphones with the microphone.
Yeah.
I moved my microphone because I started praying. I didn't want nobody to hear me praying, and I was sitting behind. I was like,
okay.
Man, when I seen the runway, I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Okay, put it down. Put it down.
Yeah. And even all the things I don't see, like the editing, I have to deal with the editors, with a translator, with a guy who does a picture on YouTube, with a sponsor, because I don't have the money to produce the video by myself. It's too much money compared to what I get. So I need to find a sponsor for that. So it's like contract, everything. It's take a lot of time and a lot of dedication, and that's the parts, the shadow parts.
Because people don't see that too. It's like, we just got one of our first sponsors lined up, and like every show before this, it's just been me doing something I'm passionate about and like doing. Mm-hmm. I pay for this out of my own pocket. I realized and knew it's going to be that way for a while. Eventually, hope it catch on. Like, I get a lot of feedback too, and I'm sure you get this. Like, the only thing I've been surprised about, and I wonder how much you have this, like, how much trolling did you get early on? Like, what I think is funny is everybody gives me, like, it's funny. It's the only trolling I've gotten so far, other than my friends just being the jackass friends that I have, just busting my balls. But aside from that, it's like, what do you think, you're Joe Rogan? I'm like, shit. if you think I'm Joe Rogan, that's badass.
Yeah.
Because that dude gets paid millions of dollars to do his podcast.
Even the cheapest Joe Rogan, I take that.
Yeah, I'll take the cheapest.
That's okay.
rate.
Discount Joe Rogan, I am.
I'll be his stunt double. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, like that's awesome. Like, I mean, I would never care about that. But like, it's funny that people just assume or do those things when you're setting that up and you're doing those things. Because I get, I've had a lot of feedback too, and it's something Biz and I've talked about and had meetings. I'm sure it's different in your format too. Because I mean, like, what's the longest video you have on there? Probably
2 hours and a half, probably.
2 hours and a half, and that's like what, a seminar?
It's a video when I'm with two Catholic priests, and they answer the question of my subscribers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said do that.
It's a long discussion with two Catholic priests smoking cigars and drinking whiskey.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
That's absolutely badass.
Yeah, it is.
I'm working on something like that myself that I think would be an epically good show. But that's the same thing. I mean, we're on here from anywhere from an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. And a lot of the feedback I get is, the other generations and like you said, they throw all those stats at you and stuff all the time. And it's like people on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, they're watching from 15 to 20 minutes and then they're checking out. They may check back in, but that's about the longest you get most of them on there. So everybody's like, well, you need to break your episodes up into like segments. I'm like, okay, maybe from an editing standpoint, and I can post some shorter videos, but to me, I don't want to take away from it.
Because there is like a kind of like a mistake you can do with the watch time, because on a show like you can see like, okay, the average watch time is 30 minutes. So you can trust, firstly, you can trust maybe it's too long. But the thing is now, because people see in different parts. It's like take the car to go, to work. They have 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
They watch the first 30 minutes. Then on the way back, they watch the second 30 minutes and everything.
Yeah.
So it cuts your watch time, but finally people see the show. Nobody really, in a podcast like that, nobody really see 50 minutes and stop. Like, no, if you stay during 50 minutes, you're definitely
gonna watch the rest.
interested by the show. So you're going to stay for the rest. But but it's a problem with long video. It could have, people don't have time. So it's cut your watch time. But the video I made with the priest made a very good stats, better than I was expecting. I was like, okay, it's priest talking during 2 hours and a half. We probably never do more than 100,000 views, something like that, was the lowest rate for me.
Yeah.
And finally we did more than 300,000. I was like, oh, and the comments was incredible. People was like, yeah, all the question I was questioning myself all my life, they answer it. So now that's, but for answer your question about trolling, the thing is, I have a little bit of trolling, but I have a lot more of hating. The thing is, when you're in my position, and the thing is, like I said, I don't do politics on my channel, but I do gun, I do hunting, I do things like that. And on other media, when I'm asking by like interviewing or media, they ask me about politics, everything. So I got so much hate, man. You can't even imagine. If you go on Twitter and you just write my name, I give you $100 if you find a good tweet about me during the first 15 minutes. You can't.
Yeah,
there is around 20,000 and 30,000 hating tweets about myself each year.
Yeah.
So
you pay attention to Twitter?
No, I never. But the thing is, it's still hard. Even if you don't, even if you like me, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of friends YouTuber. So I love a lot of friends who do the same thing than me, like in different way, but YouTubers. Yeah. And I'm probably the guy who pay the less attention of hating and everything. I don't give a fuck about that. But even when you're in my position, sometimes it's hard. Yeah. Because sometimes you're just tired of that. You're like, man, I try to do something great. I try to do something, and sometimes helping people and everything. and you just
Somebody still
get
wants to talk
shit
shit.
and shit. And the thing is more for me because my community, people who love me, because there is people who love what I do. That's why I do so much views and everything. I got
Yeah.
my subscribers. But these kind of people are quiet people. They're country people. They're not comments. They're not going on Twitter. They're not so nobody is here for defend yourself.
Yeah.
You see? There is only the fucking hating guy who got no life, fucking city guy with absolutely no life, leftist people, transgender, I don't know, like all these fucking things. They're all here because they don't have anything else to do than getting on Twitter and jerking on, hentai video. So that's a fucking 100% of their life. So this guy are here. But the other side, the guy who love what you do, they never say something. They're just watching, get back to the work, get back to the cornfield.
So you don't hear the good stuff as much as the bad at a certain point.
You heard it because I receive between 300 and 600 messages by day on Instagram, and I read everything. And I read also every comments on YouTube channel. It's more than 1,000 on every video. So you see good thing, but the thing is, it's never people, like I said, defend you. Like it's people saying, "Oh, I love what you do," and that's it. But when people talk shit about you, there is nobody to answer. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes because you can't answer because it's always people who's lower than you. You never you never trash talk by people who got more subscribers than you. That's always people who are looking for fame. They're looking for you fame. They want you. They pray for you to answer. So I will not do that. So sometimes people talk like me, shit, like they just created a new life for me, like totally new. And you're like, nobody gonna never answer to this fucking guy. I never gonna cross his road, so I can't punch him in his face. Yeah. So you're like, okay, I have to deal with that. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's hard. I will not lie, sometimes it's hard.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it is, because at a certain point, it's gotta wear on you too. I'm probably gonna have you like go through these comments with me and translate.
Yeah, you can show me. Yeah.
Some are actually in English.
Because these people are like, they're blowing it up. I've never seen this on YouTube. Like,
shouts out to France.
Yeah,
they
France
are in
is
the building.
coming in strong. It's like what, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. In France?
It's 2 o'clock. Yeah. Merci les gars. Merci d'être là. Même au milieu de la nuit, on est là.
Yeah, they're loving you, bro. They're over here giving you all kinds of compliments and stuff. I don't know what half of it says, but it's there is a lot of very consistent stuff though. So like that.
Yeah, I don't know what this thing is they're talking about, but I'm not going to bring it up because it looks like it's something that is something else. So we'll leave that alone for later. The last comments, it's about something else. So
are you not allowed to talk about cigars in France? Because I see a lot of things about something about cigars in France.
Yeah, I'm probably the number one cigars YouTuber in France. So
okay.
Because I didn't do just cigars, you see. So let's say that me and some other guy, we like doing a revival of cigar in France. Yeah. Because of the law, in France, it's you can't smoke in a restaurant. It's like you can't smoke in a restaurant, you can't smoke in a bar, and everything.
Nothing.
Right.
Like,
nothing.
Because I know cigarettes were big back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Do they have cigar lounges?
Not so many, very, very few. So, like in Paris, was a big city. There is only 2 cigar lounges.
Wow.
So there is
but
not
everybody
so much.
smokes cigarettes.
Yeah,
a lot of cigarettes.
60% of people smoke cigarettes. So the thing is, cigarettes, it's quick to smoke. Mm-hmm. Cigars, you have you need to have time for that. So in France, that's not the same weather than here, except in the south. So it's raining a lot. So people gonna not smoke on the terrace. People don't have cigar lounge. So the only place people can take, the time to smoke, it's home. But the majority of the time, your wife don't want you to smoke on the dining room or something, or the bathroom. So cigar starts to, decrease a lot during this past 50 years. Because that, like, cigars was a thing, like before the 60s or before the 70s. Every white male in France smoked cigars at the end of the meal. That was a big tradition. Yeah. And people just lose it a little bit. So me and some guys, young guys, you'd say like 30 years old guys, we just put more, like the fame back on it. And I got a lot of young guys who start to be interesting about cigars because they saw me and I explained something about cigars. And so there is kind of like a revival currently in France. So people got a lot of questions.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. That's why I'm seeing a lot that I don't understand, but cigars just keeps popping up.
It's probably maybe I can't maybe I can watch it and I can tell you.
Yeah, so they're talking about a person.
Something happened. I don't know. There is something will pop on the. I don't know what it is. I'm not usual with Apple, so.
Apple's the shit.
We'll just.
It's the shit.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
I told you there's a whole ton. Like.
Ladies and gentlemen listening, do not worry. We are still here with you. He is
still
analyzing the
you.
comments from all the great people in France right now so he can help us translate and make sense out of what is going on as the program continues.
Yeah, we need a little help here because, I don't speak French. I need like my father-in-law or my sister-in-law here. They both speak French fluently.
Really? It is
There's a lot of joke.
I be listening to when him and his friends talk. And I be trying, like, I'm struggling with Spanish as it is. But now you want to I got to learn French now because I work with them. It's like, man.
Yeah, there is a lot of joke, and there is a lot of people who just, because they didn't expect me to see the chat, so they just talk,
Talking and smack. Yeah. Okay, there it is. So, continuing on. So, we talked about your next level, all the other crazy things that you do. So, being that the things that you do for a living are relaxing, is there anything that you do on your downtime that doesn't have to do with smoking a cigar or hunting?
Or benching
or bench pressing.
Gym.
Like, is there any other hobbies that you have? I've been to his crib. Everything is hunting, smoking, and bench pressing. So it's like, do you have any other...
Cooking.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't actually, I don't like cooking. I like eating, so I have to cook. So I'm a pretty good cooker.
Every time I come over, he literally has something on the smoker.
I'm a pretty good cook. Yeah.
Every time I come over, there's something grilling.
Yeah. Not all.
I will not say
got some
little chef stuff in there. I'll bet you with the wild game, you've got some pretty good chef stuff.
So yeah.
You got a literal menu outside your house.
The other thing is cinema. Like theaters, going to the theaters. I love movie.
Yeah.
So,
what's your favorite movie?
It's really hard to tell. It's really hard.
All right, give us your top 3.
It's a standard question.
So, because there is some French movie you probably don't know, but
that's fine. You can say you got a lot of French people on here. They'll know what you're talking about. I'm a massive fan of 90s or 80s movie, like action movie, retro action.
I already know what you're gonna say. I bet you I know.
I don't know, like Over the Top with Stallone. You see this kind of movie, Over the Top, Demolition Man, this kind of movie. I love
Over the Top. I haven't thought about that so long. He's got the semi-truck. He's got the band.
So if you like action movies, my favorite French director, let me see if I do this right. If you know who this is, Luc Besson.
Yeah, Luc Besson.
The Professional. Leon the Professional.
So much
you like Leon? That's my wife. That's my wife's favorite movie.
The dude that plays the Professional, I forgot his name. He's a French actor, but he's
Jean Reno.
Yes. Excellent dude, man. But
that's a good movie.
That was the first time I really kind of started paying attention to French cinema. And I seen The Professional, I was like, yo, action. So they also come on, Jason Statham. When he drives.
The driver?
Transporter.
Oh, Transporter.
That was based out of France as well.
I don't remember.
Too.
Yeah.
Layer cake.
Yeah, I love this kind of movie. I really, really love all the Clint Eastwood movie.
Okay.
Even when he's not
Dirty
acting,
Harry.
Dirty Harry. But even when he's not acting, just, when he's directing. I love this movie. Even like Cry Macho, the last one, or The Mule, or this kind of movie.
Did you ever see
the Chris Kyle?
What is it?
Movie you see?
Lupin,
the sniper, the Chris Kyle.
Oh, Chris Kyle, American Sniper.
Mm-hmm. American Sniper.
I met him a week before he died.
Oh man!
And it was like one of the coolest experiences. I was at a golf tournament, and it was a fundraiser for a political event. I didn't know. We were one of the last groups to come off. I came in the back, sat down in some chairs that were against the back wall, and this dude could have looked like you, just tall, skinny dude, bald cap, Wranglers, and a T-shirt on. We just sat and started talking. Talked for like 30, 45 minutes, and then he was like, the guy finished saying what he was saying up front. And he's like, oh, I guess I got to go, man. He's like, good talking to you. Shook my hand, walks up there, and it was Chris Kyle. He started talking about his book and stuff like that. And I was like, he had told me about another event he was going to do. And I was like, cool, I'll come. I'll get your book. And maybe I'll get you to sign your book this time. He was signing books there. I wish I'd have got him to sign the book there. But I'd planned to go to his other event because he just told me about it. And then he gets killed a week later. And I was like, man, that's
a myth. That's
wild.
A myth,
But yeah, that's up there on my list too, man. That was a great. The book was way better than the movie, though.
Oh yeah.
If you had a chance to read the book.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
The book was legit.
So yeah, I read a lot. I read.
You read.
Yeah, I read a lot too. That's something you can't put on social or something. There is no content about that. But I read a lot of book. So I never read fiction, but it's always like the book I'm currently reading. It's about all the history of French Louisiana.
Okay.
You know, like from the foundation to the state we know today.
Yeah.
So that's this kind of book. I love that.
Ah, cool. I'm gonna have to plan a duck hunt or something on an airboat in Louisiana because I want to go with you now. Like, I think you're gonna lose your mind when you get to go out in the swamps.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
It's gonna probably remind you of home and everything else. Like, I only had I think we had an hour layover in Paris, so that's like my most experience of being in Paris. Like
In the airport.
Yeah, in the airport. I mean, we didn't leave the airport.
That's the biggest airport in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's a big airport.
Yeah, I was on our way to Spain.
I'm living 15 minutes from here.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I used to live 15 minutes from this airport. Because it's not really in Paris. You know, it's Paris airport, but it's 1 hour from Paris.
Okay. What's your favorite place you got to travel other than Texas? I mean, I know Texas is your favorite, but you've gotten to travel the world a lot. So what's your...
So it's depending for what doing it on it.
Okay, so say your top three, and it could be for all three different reasons. Like maybe your favorite place you went hunting, favorite place you got to go with, like, you know, your bench press.
I love Africa for hunting.
Yeah.
Congo.
What part of Africa?
Congo.
The Congo?
Oh, yeah. So I do
I'd be
North.
so scared to do that.
I did a lot of North Africa, like oh man, in English it's hard. Tunisia, yeah. Tunisia, Algeria. Yeah. Morocco and Egypt, and in the Central Africa I did Congo, and Congo is for hunting. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because I like wildlife, you know, when it's and Africa, it's the widest
tigers and lions and everything.
So
else.
it's more that's so you don't have a lot to really carry a lot about lion. It's more about snake, spider, everything like that. It's pretty more like Texas, but worst. Like you see some black mamba, something like that. You're like, shit. If you walk on it, you just die, because there is here in Texas you get bite by a rattlesnake. You can call 911. You got a chance to survive. But in Africa there is no 911. They don't have any hospital. Like the only good hospital is like 5 hours driving or something, and you have like 1 minute before dying. So it's
Why the hell would you want to go out there then?
Yeah, I'm out on that. Like you lost me on that one.
Have you ever been, you know, the second, or actually they said it's more deadly than Africa, is Australia.
Yeah,
I never go. Yeah, it's probably the most the most dangerous country in the world.
Most deadly animals of all. Like.
And if it's just for hanging out, I like East Europe. I love Russia, even when it's not for hunting. Like Moscow, St. Petersburg, it's a very cool city. Poland too. Poland is cool. Like Cracovia. If you just want to hang out, there is a lot of just street. You can walking street. You can't go with your car. You just walk on the street. There is a lot of bar, cheap beer. That's cool. Poland is cool. So yeah, this kind of country. I'm not very about touristic place, but at the end, if I have to choose one country, it's France. Because like in France, if you want to see things, like when I see things, it's different things everywhere. France is the best choice because you got biggest history, you're the biggest like astronomy culture, things like the most different biotope. Because you're in France, you're like, let's say you're where I grew up, it's forest and swamp. You just go 100 miles from the east, it's mountain and snow and pine forest. You go 300 miles from the south, and it's like the air, everything dry, big beach, everything. So you got all the different biotop, all the different nature in a small country.
Yeah,
so
it's like
it's not
Texas.
so small, but it's Texas is 1.5 bigger than France.
Yeah.
So you see, it's not so France is not so small compared to other European country, but it's small compared to here, and you can get all the different biotop, all the different weather, and the regional culture is very different from a part of France to another part. Like where my wife grew up and when I grew up, we don't eat the same food, we don't have the same accent, we don't do the same sports. Everything is very different.
You have different climates, cultures, everything, all within just like
exactly,
Texas.
exactly, monuments and everything.
Sports. So what's the popular sport of choice in France?
So if you want to go directly to the most popular, there is 2 teams, soccer and rugby. You can be a soccer guy, probably more people from the city, and know probably more immigrants people. And country guy, rugby for sure. Rugby, like in the south or deep in the north, it's kind of like a religion.
Yeah.
Like they raise rugby. They eat rugby.
Yeah.
Rugby is a thing. Yeah.
You ever play rugby?
No, I was asked a lot because of my
Size,
my body.
yeah.
I'm short and I'm white, so there is a post was made for me in rugby. But I never play. I just go watching a lot of match because I like the ambience and everything, and I like the sports. It's mainly sports, very cool. And France is a very very good team, probably in the 3 biggest strongest team in the world.
See, I thought it was just fencing. I didn't think about rugby and
Picked
soccer.
fencing of all things.
You think rugby is fancy?
No. I thought that would be
No,
the
he meant
popular
fencing.
sport would be fencing with swords.
I don't even know what's
Swords.
fencing.
Swords, fencing, swords. Hey, look at that. He don't even know what the hell it is. So they ain't doing
maybe
it.
in the 17th centuries.
Oh,
Exactly.
there it is.
Not
My
since
bad.
300 years.
I'm just a little bit behind.
So a fun fact about that, it's like until let's say 80 years ago, like until the 50s, duel was still something people do in France. Not so much, but you see what you know what it is. That duel.
you duel
Like
the gun.
we got an argument and we say, okay,
You can
let's
legally
meet
go out in the street.
tomorrow in the morning. You choose your weapons and we're gonna fight. So it could be sword or pistol. And the last one was in the 60s, I think, or in the 70s, but that was the very last one. But in the beginning of the 20th centuries or in the 19th centuries, that was like crazy. Yeah, people doing that every argument.
Get in a bar fight, end up dead in a sword fight.
Yeah, exactly.
crazy.
Tombstone in France.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, let's ask you some of our big questions that we do on this show because it's that time. So,
Is that the same kind of question that they got, like alien,
no,
ghost,
no,
and
no.
all
Oh,
this
no,
shit?
I mean, we
But I
can
can
do
tell
that
you
first.
directly, I don't trust any of this shit.
Oh,
No, this
okay.
is a little more deeper than
so
that.
when are you
Okay.
going on your hunt for Bigfoot?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Shit, no. you know, like in fact, in really, if I have to choose between these 3 questions they got, it's ghost, Bigfoot, and alien. I think finally, if there is more, like a percentage of chance something of these 3 exists, it's Bigfoot, because I can't trust that there is like kind of like a, I don't know, like just a monkey who's a little bit bigger, like a alpha male monkey. Someone sees that and
Yeah.
think it's a Bigfoot, or just a trapper with a hairy problem. Okay, I can trust that more than fucking ghost, or I don't know, like fucking, little cornhead coming in.
So for those of you that don't know, that have not seen Cigar Talk Live, which is what we're referring to, that the guys here at ICC, they put on a show. That's where he beat my record. He's been on there 3 times.
Yeah.
Throw that out there for you again. So he's the world record at Cigar Talk Live and bench press in Europe. So they asked 3 random questions like, what do you think are you more positive about there's a chance there's aliens, ghosts, or Bigfoot? That's the kind of foolery that they like throw out there just to see what people are going to say, and that's the question they like to ask.
But it's fun to hear the answer.
It is fun with a lot of people to hear the
It's fun,
answers.
and it's also dramatic because a lot of people really trust on that.
Did they
Hey.
ask you, and I'll say this, I don't want to kill the show or get us cut off, but the other one they did to me is you they named 3 famous like women.
No,
and they asked you have to
Choose?
sleep with one, marry one, and kill one.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they did that to me on one of the episodes, and I was like,
That's a
really?
friend
And it
question.
was like Betty White, Oprah Winfrey, and Martha Stewart.
Okay, I don't know the first one.
Betty
They,
White,
just
the
Golden Girls, like famous older comedic actress.
Okay, I didn't.
So you
I
would
didn't
know.
her.
We could go with, I think of one you would know. What about Goldie Hawn? Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay, I'm trying to think of like, well, what about Roseanne Barr? Do you know who that is?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
It's kinda
replace
like-
her. Roseanne Barr,
The same kind of
Oprah
woman.
Winfrey, or Martha Stewart.
I think Oprah should be maybe a good cook. I don't know.
That's the one you'd marry?
I don't know, man.
I mean, you gotta pick one. You gotta put them into the 3 categories.
I'd marry Oprah in a heartbeat. Dave Chappelle did it. That's a check.
Yeah, that's the richest too. So that's probably Oprah is probably the richest of the 3. So for Mary,
I mean,
it
it'd
could
be
be a
close
good
between
choice.
her and Martha Stewart. Well, I mean,
yeah.
Martha, after she did her time, I don't know, she probably lost quite a bit of money there.
No, she good. She smokes plenty of
But
weed
she's
with
older.
Snoop Dogg.
She's older too.
Yeah.
Martha
yeah,
is
Martha's
older.
They're all older.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
they're all old, right? Yeah,
especially
yeah.
for you. You're 28, 29?
29, yeah.
Okay, it's 29. These women, put it this way. Not a single one of them that they give you is under 65.
Yeah. So yeah, but maybe so if I choose the oldest, I have to spend less time with her. So it could count. But that is not your question, right? You see,
That's
you have
not
a
my question.
You have a real
you,
question.
you just suggested I was going to ask you the crazy question, so I had to explain it to
No, I
everybody so
didn't
they know what we were
suggest
talking
that.
about. Because not everybody's seen that show.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's still good. So, if you could only leave the audience with one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Trust the process. When you want to learn something trust the process. I mean, learn something. And when you learn something you don't already know, try to learn something. And when you learn something, trust the process. Just choose the good people to teach you and trust what it tell you. Even
Yeah.
if you feel bad, if it's strange for you or something, at the end you're gonna be better.
Yeah.
Like currently, I learn team roping. I take lesson of roping, team roping.
You're taking team roping lessons
I'm
now.
gonna-
I
yeah.
told y'all he's going full Texas redneck.
So I'm working for doing a competition maybe next year or something of
Okay.
team roping. So it's a girl who teaching me, but she's
Yeah.
very good of what she. And man, everything is hard for me. I don't have the body for doing some swing or everything, riding horse, everything. Even if I'm already a horse rider, it's a different way. So I just trust the process. I remember how I learned bench press. I remember didn't understanding anything of what my coach asking me and just doing the thing. At the end, I become a champion. So I do the same for team roping. I just
Yeah.
I'm just listening, doing what you want for me to do,
Yeah.
and I trust the process.
So what do you do a lot of things to put yourself in situations where you're around people that are not like you or that you can learn things from that are completely different? Is that something that you
As soon as
try to do? Or is it more that it's you find something new that you want to try and then you seek out somebody to mentor you?
I have to
in
be
that
interested about that. As
Okay.
soon as I'm truly interested about a thing, I just never say it's not for me. You see, if I'm interested about that, if I get a feeling, I will not be the guy who say, I would love to do that, but it's not for me. Like a lot of guys told me before, like, I would love to have your strength or your body, but the gym is not for me or something. Now, if you like the result, it's for you. You understand what I mean? Like, you probably think it's not for you, but it is, because if it was not, you wouldn't like
have
my
that thought.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if as soon as you're truly interested about something, go on it and trust the process.
Okay. Man,
Is that a
these
good?
people are blowing it
Is that a
up.
good advice or is that shitty?
No, I think that's
bro,
great
that's straight.
advice.
That was really straight.
I think that's great advice. The other thing we ask people, and this can really be anything. Like, it could be something that you thought of coming to the show, during the show, or just in general. That's something you haven't got to share. We call this segment "My 2 cents." Like, giving me your 2 cents of knowledge, or give me your common sense. You know, like the show's called Common Sense, so we say, give us your 2 cents, and that can be like just something you haven't got a chance to say, something you want to say, something you want to put out there.
Can you give me an example? Because I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure.
So what your 2 cents is, maybe a thought that if somebody younger to you would, I mean, it's a thought about advice you would give, not like the last questions, but this is my 2 cents on the way that I live, my thought process.
So
I'm giving you, everybody, if I was to give you some advice before you go off in the world, this is how I feel about anything that you're passionate about. Different from your last answer.
I'm not really sure of the translation, so maybe you have to correct me. So, a lot of people say I'm
Vindicating?
I'm revendicating my way of life. You see, like I'm.
You're vindicating your way of life.
Like hunting.
You're promoting your way of life.
I'm not. I'm just assuming what I am. That's the difference. You understand that, or it's not?
Yeah, I think what you tell me if I'm wrong.
not ashamed of what I am.
Right.
You see,
you are who you are,
and
you're sharing your life because there are people that you found that are interested.
It's not about sharing. It's more about being proud of, I'm
who you are.
proud of just I don't know the good word. Because in French it's assume, but it doesn't mean the same thing in English. So it's like I accept what I am. I accept it. Like, I'm a man. Sometimes I got silly things. I like silly things. Like I say, over the top. You see, when you ask me, "Oh, what movie do you like?" I could say some, like clever movie, some intelligent movie. I like over the top. I will say it. Yeah. I will never
cheesy 80s movie.
I will never be ashamed of what I am. Right. I like Monster Truck. I like Monster Jam. I like over the top. I like this kind of silly thing. I like doing farting, joke to my friends. That's real. I'm not vindicating that, like promoting that, like do fart joke. No, but I'm not ashamed about laughing when my friend farts. You see? And so it's could be on everything. Yeah. Okay, I look like a redneck. I am. And what? And I'm Catholic. It's really not famous to be Catholic in France, being on a religion. I am Catholic. I'm not promoting that. Oh, in a way, I'm promoting that, but by the way,
because I just share yourself.
Exactly, because I share what I am. I'm not like today everybody's vindicating feminism, everything. They're gay. They want you to know everything. No, I'm not like that. I am what I am. I show you. You like it, you don't like it. That's the same for me.
You don't have to subscribe or watch.
That's the same for me.
Yeah.
So I think if I have an advice to go to a young guy, it's be what you are without any shame of what you are.
Right.
Just be.
I think that's good. That's more what we were asking. It's kind of like, what would your advice be? Like some advice you would give, or a lesson you would like to share that's something that's been on your mind. Like maybe you think people need to be more open, or people need to, embrace XYZ more. That's more what, give us your 2 cents. That's what we're asking.
So that's it. If you are a teenager, be yourself without any shame. And just remember, you only have one life in this video game was real life.
Yeah.
You can't play back, you can just die and retry. You only have one chance. So go.
See, that was it. We got it. You just nailed it. That's exactly what my 2 cents is. Well, everybody, all our new listeners from France and around the world, we appreciate you joining us for the show. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned some things, had your eyes opened about some things, learned some good lessons. Hopefully you were able to take some good nuggets of information or inspiration from the show, please check out his Bench Cigars. I think you guys will love the videos and stuff. I mean, Biz is doing them, so, I mean, they don't suck. I can tell you that for sure.
I'm learning.
You know, but, you know, you're going to get to see him probably flying and freezing his ass off in a helicopter pretty soon. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I hope you got some, like, side footage of Biz, like, shaking and
No, I don't know.
trying to take his...
He was on my back, so I didn't. I didn't.
He was too busy
notice
aiming
he
at
was
the
cold.
pigs.
Yeah, he was too busy looking at pigs.
I'm in the
so.
back praying.
But, yeah.
But he praying for both of us, so that's okay.
Right
I had
on.
you covered. I
There
had
you
you covered.
go. Well, everybody, we want to thank you for joining us. We're going to have another great episode for you next week. We hope you'll join us again. And Baptiste, man, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah,
man. I
man.
really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Truly
we'll
appreciate
get a hunting together, maybe
Oh,
some
yeah.
fishing, and we'll have some more stories for him next time.
it. Will do, definitely.
All right, man. Take care, and thank you again for coming on the show.
Au
See
revoir.
y'all next week.
À plus.